Hi everybody, it's Patrick. So we're just kind of wrapping up the year, and I thought, instead of doing like our regular post, I thought it'd be fun to tell you sort of my 12 favorite things about 2024. I was going to do 10, but quite frankly I had 12, and I thought, there's 12 months, there's 12 days of Christmas, so I can do 12, right? So they're in no particular order, but it's just a little glimpse into kind of my life. Number 12 was the Cyndi Lauper concert. Several of you saw me post about it on social media. It was amazing. It's sort of her farewell tour, and I love her. And it was the first time I'd ever seen her in concert. I'd actually seen her perform a couple times, but never in concert. You can go back and read the review if you want, but it was epic. Number 11 was kind of a really wonderful thing, but it was a little bit sad. It was the final couple weeks of the Lori and Julia show. A lot of you have heard me on Lori and Julia. I was on there many times. I was lucky enough to co-host a few times when Lori or Julia were gone. And going on the last time was just really special because those two women are so very important to me, and they're icons in the Twin Cities. And then I was at their final taping, and it was amazing, but it was sad. The next one, I guess, kind of goes with media, and this is the opposite end. This was really incredible. I was on Good Morning America 3. It was the second time I'd been on, but it was the first time I was live. The first time I sort of zoomed in, and this time I was there, and it was amazing. It was everything I ever wanted it to be. They're so nice. Good Morning America is incredible, and GMA 3, it was epic. It was so incredible. And then with that, I was in New York several times this year. We're at number 9 now. I was at New York several times this year doing some really incredible things. There's something really, really, really exciting coming. I'm hoping spring of 2025, but it happened in 2024. I was there a few times. I ended up being there in November, right after my birthday, and it was Christmassy, and I got to see the windows open at Bergdorf's. It was really kind of an amazing thing, and I found this restaurant called Patsy's that was Frank Sinatra's favorite restaurant, and I've eaten there a couple times. The best Napoleon I've ever had, And then number 8, kind of is still with travel, I guess, in its own way. I went to Dallas. I had been in Fort Worth. I'd never been in Dallas. I belong to an organization of people who collect vintage Christmas decorations, and our national convention this year was in Dallas. And I got to go. It was great. Obviously, it's very historic. So I got to see some kind of historic things, which I loved. And, Neiman Marcus, which you also know I love. And, of course, the Christmas thing. But I just loved Dallas. It was so charming and so wonderful. Next is number 7. Number 7 is kind of a media thing again. I guess there was a lot of media. Well, I guess, when I have Ross, who is in media, there's that. Number 7 was a really cool thing. On NPR, Angela Davis has a morning show, and periodically she does power couples. And in January, she interviewed me and Ross. And it was really fun. I do interviews, fairly often, but I'd never done one with Ross. And it was really pretty special. It was a pretty wonderful thing for me to kind of go in his world, him to kind of come in mine. And we did the power couple interview, and it was so cool. If you didn't listen, you can search it and it comes up. It's Angela Davis. Number 6, which is its own kind of media, the paperback came out. The paperback for House Love. It came out December 10th. It just barely made this list. But it was really fun to have it come out in paperback because so many of you have loved the hardback. And the paperback coming out right before Christmas, we're able to give it to people. And, and then... still, I guess, sticking with the media thing. I don't know what else to say. The media thing was being on the Jason show. I love Jason. I will fight over Jason. You've heard me say that. It's true. I love him. He's such a great guy, and I love sort of his kindness and his spirit. I was the first guest on the... I've been on it several times before, but I was the first guest of the 10th season, and I got to meet Dar. And Dar loves laundry. I love laundry. It was epic that we connected there. And then just seeing, I'll tell you the best part of that, it's always fun being on his show, but I don't want to say I'm proud of him because I think that's condescending. I'm so excited for him. I'm so excited that he did his 10th season and he got his curtain, and that's on YouTube. You can watch it. That was so exciting. And number 4, and this is still not in any particular order, were the home shows. You know, this year I did so many home shows, and I was in so many new cities. I was in Salt Lake City. I met Tamara Day, who has Bargain Mansions on HGTV, and like fell madly in love with her like the first time I met her. She's just pure warmth. I went to Louisville, so I was back in Kentucky, and that was epic. I ran into a friend of mine, or didn't run into, planned to meet a friend of mine from childhood, and we went to an amazing dinner. And I was in so many other locations. I was in, you know, Georgia, and I was in St. Louis, and I loved that. And, you know, so many places, and they're all so great, and I love them, and I love going. I love seeing, you know, the home shows and all the things that are going on. Number 3, you've seen on social, and you're going to see it a lot more in 2025, so get ready, was my friendship with Electrolux and Winter Stallion. Talk about a dream come true. If you haven't seen it, you'll see my new washing machine and dryer in Alpine, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. It's just sexy. I mean, a washer and dryer, people say it can't be sexy. It can totally be sexy, because mine is. It looks like a Maserati. It's absolutely beautiful, and that happened. Thank you to Winter Stallion and Electrolux, and it's, I love it so much. Ross and I still, many times a week, talk about how much we love this washer and dryer. Number 2 was really pivotal for me, and this one's much more personal. It has nothing to do with the store, but there was a Keith Haring exhibition at the Walker Art Center, and it was a retrospective, and I love Keith Haring. I would tell you he's my favorite artist. He's my favorite artist adjacent. There's like 3 or 4, but they're all kind of intertwined. They all knew each other. But I had never seen so many of his works in one place at one time. And I've heard other people say they've gone to like an exhibit, or they've gone to a fashion show or something, and it was life-changing. And I'm going to tell you, that exhibit for me was life-changing. It changed the way I thought about things. I've thought about him. I've thought about his family. I've thought about his brilliance. And it was one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. And to tell you how much I loved it, I saw it 6 times in 3 months. I took everybody. If somebody was like, oh, I haven't seen it, I'm like, oh, we'll go. And I never got tired of it. It was so beautiful, and I just really felt lucky. I felt lucky that I got to see it, you know. So, but then my biggest one, and it's funny because my biggest one is always the same every year, and I don't mean to minimize it at all, but it's always true. It's everybody. It's seeing all of you. It's interacting with everybody about my love, which is laundry and cleaning and cooking and, you know, so many things. And, you know, it's obviously laundry because, you know, I mean, I call myself Laundry Patric, for heaven's sake. But, you know, we wrote House Love and working on that, and it was amazing. So getting people to ask me questions about their countertops and their bathroom sinks and so many things. And, you know, pimento cheese. I made the pimento cheese recipe on camera. It's always getting to interact. And it's, how do I fix this? Or a woman just like today said to me that her grandmother died around 2000, and she was in her late 80s. And she said, in your entire life, of everything you've seen, what was the biggest change? And she said it was the washing machine. And that story just, I mean, you can imagine, my heart just sort of sang when I heard it. But it's hearing all of those stories. It's hearing, you helped me save my tree skirt, or you helped me save my daughter's sweatshirt. Or one of my favorite stories, which actually happened in January, was a grandmother who said, you know, my granddaughter's favorite sweatshirt, it was a Taylor Swift sweatshirt, which, you know, I totally get. You know, it got something on it, what can I do? And I told her, and she got it clean, and she said I was a hero to my granddaughter. Well, you know how much I loved my granny, so that made me happy. But it's even just the day-to-day things, like, you know, I got spaghetti sauce on my shoes. You know, I love those things. I love it when we get to interact and we get to talk, and people come in, and you come meet me at home shows. You know, you can come meet me this spring, speaking of, in Novi, Michigan, and Charlotte, and Minneapolis, and Duluth. And, you know, but getting to meet people at home shows, getting to meet people in the store, getting to meet people online. You know, I met a woman last January who'd been a follower of mine on Instagram, and we met in person, and it was amazing. We both love Diet Coke, so, you know, kindred spirits forever. And, you know, I mean, just getting to meet people. I've got friends in she's technically in Austin, but I've got friends kind of all over the country from home shows and here, and I love it. And that's my favorite thing. That is my favorite thing of 2024. So as we wrap 2024, I just wanted you to know some things that I was really thankful for and had a fun with. And we're going into 2025. And in 2025, my goal is to be happy. That is my goal. I want the store to be happy. I want everybody to be happy. I'm just feeling sort of happiness for 2025. And I'm happy that I get to talk to you. And I'm happy that you listen. And I'm grateful and thankful. And so, Happy New Year. 2025 is going to be an amazing year. I promise. I can already feel it. And I hope you feel it too. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.